Brilliance Audio presents An American Duchess by Caroline Fyffe, performed by Stina Nielsen. They dance just for me, Charlotte Aldridge thought, looking out across the ocean of swaying stalks of wheat. A light breeze cooled her skin and lifted her mood as she walked beside her pony cart, filled with loaves of bread. The spring yield, planted last January, reached greedily toward the warming sun. This crop would not bear as much as the winter harvest, but would surely keep the small market town of Brightshire, as well as the country folk of Goldenbrook, fed through the winter months. The inhabitants of the nearby hamlet depended on each morsel the reaping machine left behind. The cart bumped easily along the pitted dirt road. The pony's lead line tossed across the animal's back. A rare Adonis butterfly, known in Kent for its shimmery blue shade, flitted across the path and landed on a stalk of wheat. Slowly, its large wings opened and closed. Charlotte stopped to watch, wondering how a silk dress in that exact hue would feel upon her skin. Feminine for one, impossible for another. She wrapped her arms around her middle, imagining, longing. Then, without so much as a by your leave for her breathless admiration, the lovely creature took to the sky and was gone. She heaved a sigh and ran to catch her cart. Ahead, a stone bridge arched over a narrow brook. From there the road leading to Ashbury Castle disappeared into forest land. It wasn't visible now, but what she knew from living in Brightshire her whole life was that the road through the forest would emerge into a great open expanse and the 500-year-old castle of the Duke of Brightshire. The tall square tower and checkerboard-patterned battlements were partly visible over the treetops. 2 flags fluttered in the breeze, one bearing the Duke's coat of arms, and the other Queen Victoria's. Charlotte sighed again. The scent of wildflowers reached her nose, reminding her of costly perfume noblewomen took for granted as much as the air they breathed. Did they know how lucky they were? Charlotte would be happy with a single dress that hadn't been handed down through the village, but was new, hers alone. She gazed at the tower. There was something magical about Ashbury. But since the death of William Northcott, Duke of Brightshire, and then his son and heir, who had worn the title for less than a year, a cloud had hung over the town. The Northcotts were the most important family in the area and employed many of the villagers. The lucky ones, with jobs inside the castle, relayed the goings-on and tensions from Ashbury on a daily basis. Charlotte's cousin Amelia worked as a scullery maid, and her monthly visit home was anticipated with excitement. During the time the young Duke had reigned, Amelia had brought rumours of parties and gambling, as well as tension between the Duke and his mother, the Dowager Duchess. Then, the young Duke had died in a hunting accident, and his body hadn't been recovered for 2 whole days. The affair had been ghastly. His death, and the fact that a new Duke or Duchess had not been announced, had been the subject of speculation for 9 long months. And now, rumours abounded that the knife wound that had killed him might not have been an accident at all, but murder. The rumours made Charlotte fear for her brother. Thomas was 20, older by a year, and seemed to be hiding something important about that day. She dared not pry for fear of learning something she would not like to know. She'd heard from Amelia that the young Duke often went into the woods with his gun, sometimes just to shoot, and other times to hunt small game. That day the word was he'd gone out alone. That same day, Charlotte had gone into Ashbury's woods, basket over her arm, in search of the wild mushrooms that grew around the lake, to use in the meat pies they sold at her family's bake shop. She'd seen movement across a large meadow and up the rise. 2 men, their backs to her, One was clearly the Duke, for his bright red cloak was like no other. He was tall and his wide shoulders distinctive. The other man wore a long duster, much like the one Thomas owned. He'd been partly hidden by trees, making his identity uncertain. Thomas delivered the bread to Ashbury every Tuesday and ran into the young Duke now and then. He spoke often of the Duke's conceit and condescending words. There was no love lost between them.